You knew I was coming in hot because we talked about seeing a team with an identity. Still 0-0. I'm looking. I don't see one. If we're talking about playing to our strengths, they don't even know what our strengths are because it's evident when someone gets on the ball, in particular a center back with time and space, they opt for a 5-yard pass. They wait, they sit, they look, no movement. One option in front of you, it's taken. Well, I'm going to force it in anyway because the emphasis is playing short. Or I'm going to play a nice little 5-yard pass to my center back partner. Who are you moving? If I'm the opposing team, I'm like, this is great. Look at this isn't a challenge. They're not moving us. If you have possession,
we can all clap and go.
Right.
Go,
if you have possession, the idea is to tire the other team out because you're forcing them out of position.
Possession with a purpose.
You're keeping them moving. You're creating passing lanes. You're making 1v2 situations. You're getting Christian Pulisic isolated. Where was that? There was nothing. And then on top of that, we could play P-Folk up there. We could play Sargent up there. We could play Pepe or Ferreira. It doesn't matter. Whoever's playing there has zero support.
Well, there
zero
was no
support.
Listen,
and
Chuck,
none of
there
them
was no central midfielders, though. Who's going to combine with
regardless, they're on an island, and all our strikers in the pool, all of them, there is not one who can take the game by themselves. That you can say, I'm going to play you the ball into the channel, and we'll let you go to work. You're an Mbappe. You're a Haaland. We don't have that. That player does not exist. So therefore, whoever is playing in that position needs support. So I know we're talking about so late in the quick campaign right now before World Cup. I would argue that now's the time to change the system because this system does not work. It does not work. And so I don't care how many times you try and force it down these guys. We talk about a system where it's less complicated. Just say,
I also don't think
this
there's
is how we set up and we go.
I agree with that. I don't think there's buy-in either. And also I thought it was telling, Heath, that Gregg said after the Japan game, and I love your rants, Charlie, keep them going. They gave too much information to the players and they didn't process it or something to that effect. I'm paraphrasing. That's pretty telling that the guys need that much hand-holding, one, and that they didn't do any scouting to Japan. That's what I heard. And so now they're trying to create the system without actually focusing on the opponent and how that system could work against that particular opponent, which I think is pretty important. And I ultimately, though, I agree to your point, Heath. I think there's buy-in from some, but I don't think there's buy-in from all. No, and I think it showed over the last two games.
And think of Serginho Dest. I thought it was unimaginable you're going to put him on the left side. I thought there's no way
handcuffs
because you unbalance the whole team.
Yeah.
He comes inside. Christian comes inside. As soon as you lose possession, and you will lose possession because nobody's 100%, even Barcelona in their prime, they would lose the ball occasionally. Mm-hmm. You lose the ball, and this team is going to lose the ball a lot more often than the best of teams. Guess the spot that they hit first. That whole left side is completely open. And we saw Serginho come inside time and time again early in the first half. It's a bad ball. Boom, right to goal. And this is Saudi Arabia. They had the better of the chances in this game. Saudi Arabia, we talked about how we were underwhelmed with Japan and Saudi Arabia in this window. I would like to see Brazil. I'd like to see Argentina, France, Belgium. If we played them in this window, back-to-back 3-4-5-0 losses, without a doubt, if you played this way. However, maybe we don't
play. Could have been 3-4-5.
But maybe we don't play that way, right? Maybe they say we're going to just sit back and play a different style, force you to play a different style. I don't know. But what I'm saying is you expect to be dominant in this window, and we were everything but that.
I think that, to your point, and what he said before you came on, Charlie, we never made either one of the opponents suffer. Never once did I see them look like they were troubled by us. Sure, we had some moments, and the Ferreira chance against Japan, we created a couple opportunities, but it wasn't consistent, and it never really looked like it was a team on the back foot. Maybe we had Japan there for a little bit in the start of the second half for about 5 to 10 minutes where they looked like they were trying to figure us out. But once they did, then we struggle. Once Saudi Arabia sat back, that's when we struggled. Once they realized don't extend yourself, just sit back in a good mid block and a good low block. If they get past you, they're not going to break us down. So that gets back to the Mbappe and Holland team. I just want to say very quickly that about, I don't know, 250 countries don't have a Holland or an Mbappe to lean on. But to your point, Chuck,
okay,
what are we doing to say that though? Like, what are we doing? And this is the point you're trying to make. What are we doing to play to our strengths? And it doesn't seem like we're doing that
because we don't have a player who can break down somebody in the final third by themselves.
That's my point. Is we get into a situation now where our best national teams have always been able to recognize when a team is vulnerable and you punish them. And when we have these moments where you can feel, okay, the U.S. have a little rhythm. Oh, they're getting in and around the box. There is never a moment where you go, oh, this is going to turn into something right now. It just goes something flat. And then within a few minutes, it's like, oh, yeah, we've completely forgotten about that momentum. We don't have that ruthlessness that we've seen of national teams in the past where when they smell blood, a goal happens or something happens where you can feel that lean where it starts to really, really push on them. And they're like, oh, my gosh, Saudi can't get out of their box. They can't get out of their half. You can feel that lean and that the recognition of the players of going, hey, we've got them somewhere. Let's keep on pushing. It's just like a little wave and then it just fizzles off. And then it goes back to 20, 30 minutes of nothing.
It's like watching scripted TV. When you're watching the U.S. play, it looks like everything is pre-planned and the opposition knows exactly what's coming. We're not surprised. They're not surprised because there's no creativity. We talk about creativity, but it's all the same things. They get it wide. FIFA, okay, here I go, cross, and the cross is lobbed up and it's hopeful. Have you ever seen a cross? And you look at the lines of the players making runs. They're all on the same line. Mm-hmm. There's not a varied run, a hard near post run, a back post run, a penalty spot. So you have different options. They're all on the same line.
Okay, Chuck, I'm
taking 2 steps back.
I get it. Yeah, I feel like it. And I said this before and I tweeted it out. I feel like I have more questions than answers now. And that's a really shitty spot for us to be in 54 days away from the World Cup. Mm-hmm. You said that Gregg needs to change his system. I want to harken back to 1998 when Steve Sampson was our coach, and this dude was changing systems night before the games at the World Cup, and it was an absolute disaster because he just didn't have any confidence in his vision at that time, and he was tinkering too much. I'm not saying that Gregg and Steve are the same, but I don't know if that's the recipe to solve this either. Is to all of a sudden change a system that Gregg has been solidly behind the whole time. Listen, I agree with you. It's not working, but I don't know if that's the answer either. Because I got a lot of questions.
Okay,
I'm a little myth. Go ahead, Chuck. You go first, and then Heath, I want to hear from you.
I'm seeing a lot of change the system, but how do you change the system? What's the solution? How do you move forward? Well, think about your strengths. We can't go to a back three because we don't have 3 quality center backs. So that is out the window. I don't want to see back 3 again because we're
not scoring. I'll go back 3.
No,
if our best team is our attackers and they're not scoring goals, let's put in a back 3 and then change what we have up top. You're gonna have to lose one of your attackers.
So you want to try and win 6-5? Is that what you're trying to do in a World Cup? You think you're gonna win 6-5 in a World Cup?
A win's a win. What are we talking about? A W's a W.
Do you think that would be possible? You think that's realistic?
We're gonna I don't know.
What 3 center backs are you going with? Who's the 3 center backs?
I mean, I would go with Chris Richards, Walker Zimmerman, and then give me one more. Give me one more.
Listen.
Oh, come on, man.
Would you rather? Do you trust 2 center backs?
I would rather go a flat back 4 with 2 defensive midfielders.
We just did that today, dude.
What 2 defensive midfielders?
We didn't say Weston. You're sitting with Tyler Adams, and you're going to be defending.
We have Kellen Acosta on the field next to. I mean, whether he's sitting right now,
was out there trying to be Pirlo.
I get you, but his instincts are to play defense.
The problem with Kellen Acosta right now in this system in this game was exactly why it didn't work, because Saudi Arabia was not coming and staying high and pressing us or launching long balls where you needed to win second balls, where Kellen Acosta is great. That's where he's at his best. He's just winning second balls and he's tackling. He's not forced to produce. That's why I wanted to see Gio Reyna in the midfield.
You and me both. Why wouldn't we take these 90 minutes to do that, Chuck? I don't. That's on Gregg Berhalter.
Yes, it is.
For putting us in a situation where you handcuff our best attacking outside back and put him at the left side when he's right-footed.
Yep.
And then you start Kellen Acosta when
We
Dude,
played
Saudi
the two
Arabia
sixes today. That's two
Saudi
defensive
Arabia-
midfielders.
Saudi Arabia
Yes,
scored,
but he
scored
wasn't
2
playing
goals.
in that role. But either way, he shouldn't have been on the pitch. They're
I
not a
agree.
team that's
I
going
agree.
to be.
But he put
pressing
in a
us.
6
This
to
isn't
make him an
France
8.
or Argentina or
Listen,
Brazil.
we're arguing about the same goddamn thing. Listen,
I
they scored
know,
2
that's
goals
my
in their
point.
last 8 games.
My
Saudi Arabia,
point
2
is,
goals in the last 8
we
games.
don't
Why
have,
not put an attacking player in the midfield?
we
I
don't
get
have
it.
support up top for whoever's playing the 9. It does not exist. Christian Pulisic is out of form. We're forgetting that. This isn't the Christian Pulisic who's at his best. He's lacking match sharpness and match fitness. He's searching for the ball. He's coming so deep because he can't get involved. We're not looking for him. Whoever's playing up top as a 9, it doesn't matter. It could be Christian Pulisic. Whoever's running is not getting the ball. We're not even looking. We're not even looking.
Somebody said we're angrily in agreement.
we are
we're all saying the
angrily
same thing.
in agreement. What I'm saying is we're all passionate about this. We want this team to succeed. Right now, not only is the system not working, the players who are being picked for this system are not the right fit.